I am continuing my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am reading in a chronological order of events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be skipping around a bit as I move along. Okay, so now we continue with our visions of Daniel. This will be chapter 11. Now remember, in chapter 9 we had the visit of Gabriel and the cryptic 70-week prophecy. In chapter 10 we get the visit of two different angels, and says he's going to tell them what's going to happen in the latter days. This chapter is a bit long, and so I will be dividing it into two parts. The first part will be verses 1 through 29, and then I will read the second half, 30 through 45, in the second video. Let us continue now. Chapter 11. Daniel sees the successive kings and their wars, leagues, and conflicts which lead up to the second coming of Christ. Also in the first year of Darius the Mede, even I stood to confirm and to strengthen him. And now will I shew thee the truth. Behold, there shall stand up yet 3 kings in Persia, and the 4th shall be far richer than they all. And by his strength, through his riches, he shall stir up all against the realm of Grecia. And a mighty king shall stand up, that shall rule with great dominion, and do according to his will. And when he shall stand up, his kingdom shall be broken, and shall be divided toward the 4 winds of heaven, and not to his posterity, nor according to his dominion which he ruled. For his kingdom shall be plucked up, even for others besides those. There's a little bit of confusion here on what this means. It says there's going to be 3 kings in Persia, and the 4th shall be far richer. Now, this is during it says during the first year of Darius the Mede. Of course, again, Darius the Mede, this is not Cyrus, this is not any of the kings of Persia. This is a local ruler over the province of Babylon. And this is the angel talking, not Daniel. This is the angel saying that in this year, this is what this is what I was doing. It's a little confusing there, but who are these 3 kings? Cyrus is currently king. Do we count Cyrus? Because we have Cyrus, his son Cambyses, and then Darius. And then Darius' son, Xerxes. Xerxes was he was a very powerful, and he was the one that did the whole battle of Thermopylae, the 300 Spartans and all that. So he did raise up everything against Greece. But what if we don't count Cyrus? Because it says, there shall stand up yet 3 kings, which means it's probably not counting Cyrus. So we have Cambyses, Darius, Xerxes, and the 4th is Artaxerxes the first. And he's the one that breaks the power of Athens in Greece. He actually weakens Greece more than Xerxes ever did. So either way you look at it, that's kind of what it looks like. But then we have a prophecy of the rising of the Greek king. So that when he shall stand up, his kingdom will be broken to the 4 winds. Again, Greece is broken into 4 kingdoms. And none of them are ruled by the descendants of Alexander the Great, or according to his government. So this is obviously Alexander the Great, but between Artaxerxes and Alexander the Great, we have Xerxes II, Artaxerxes II, Darius II, and Artaxerxes III, and Darius III. So we get kind of a time jump here. It's very interesting, somewhat confusing. But let us continue verse 5. And the king of the south shall be strong, and one of his princes, and he shall be strong above him, and have dominion. His dominion shall be a great dominion. And in the end of years they shall join themselves together, for the king's daughter of the south shall come to the king of the north to make an agreement. But she shall not retain the power of the arm, neither shall he stand, nor his arm. But she shall be given up, and they that brought her, and he that begat her, and he that strengthened her in these times. But out of a branch of her roots shall one stand up in his estate, which shall come with an army, and shall enter into the fortress of the king of the north, and shall deal against them, and shall prevail, and shall also carry captives into Egypt their gods, with their princes, and with their precious vessels of silver and of gold, and he shall continue more years than the king of the north. So the king of the south shall come into his kingdom, and shall return into his own land. But his sons shall be stirred up, and shall assemble a multitude of great forces, and one shall certainly come and overflow, and pass through. Then shall he return, and be stirred up even to his fortress. And the king of the south shall be moved with choler, and shall come forth and fight with him, even with the king of the north. And he shall set forth a great multitude, but the multitude shall be given into his hand. And when he hath taken away the multitude, his heart shall be lifted up, and he shall cast down many 10,000s. But he shall not be strengthened by it. For the king of the north shall return, and shall set forth a multitude greater than the former, and shall certainly come after certain years with a great army, and with much riches. And in those times there shall many stand up against the king of the south. Also the robbers of thy people shall exalt themselves to establish the vision, but they shall fall. So the king of the north shall come, and cast up a mount, and take the most fenced cities, and the arms of the south shall not withstand, neither his chosen people, neither shall there be any strength to withstand. But he that cometh against him shall do according to his own will, and none shall stand before him, and he shall stand in the glorious land, which by his hand shall be consumed. He shall also set his face to enter with the strength of his whole kingdom, and upright ones with him. Thus shall he do, and he shall give him the daughter of women, corrupting her. But she shall not stand on his side, neither be for him. After this shall he turn his face unto the isles, and shall take many. But a prince of his own behalf shall cause the reproach offered by him to cease. Without his own reproach he shall cause it to turn upon him. Then he shall turn his face toward the fort of his own land, but he shall stumble and fall, and not be found. Then shall stand up in his estate a raiser of taxes in the glory of the kingdom. But within few days he shall be destroyed, neither in anger nor in battle. And in his estate shall stand up a vile person, to whom they shall not give the honor of the kingdom. But he shall come in peaceably, and obtain the kingdom by flatteries. And with the arms of a flood shall they be overflown from before him, and shall be broken, yea, also the prince of the covenant. And after the league made with him he shall work deceitfully, for he shall come up, and shall become strong with a small people. He shall enter peaceably, even upon the fattest places of the province. And he shall do that which his fathers have not done, or his fathers' fathers. He shall scatter among them the prey, and spoil, and riches. Yea, and he shall forecast his devices against the strongholds, even for a time. And he shall stir up his power and his courage against the king of the south with a great army. And the king of the south shall be stirred up to battle with a very great and mighty army. But he shall not stand, for they shall forecast devices against him. Yea, they that feed of the portion of his meat shall destroy him, and his army shall overflow, and many shall fall down slain. And both these kings' hearts shall be to do mischief, and they shall speak lies at one table. But it shall not prosper, for yet the end shall be at the time appointed. Then shall he return into his land with great riches, and his heart shall be against the holy covenant, and he shall do exploits, and return to his own land. At the time appointed he shall return, and come toward the south, but it shall not be as the former, or as the latter. This is a very confusing prophecy. We're actually given quite a bit of detail, but nothing specific. We're talking about a king of the south, the king of the north. There's another king that comes in. This king of the south has a daughter, tries to make a league of marriage with the king of the north, but that doesn't work out. Have these back and forths. What all this means, we're not entirely sure, but the theory, and I kind of think this is most likely a correct theory, although piecing it together is more difficult. But considering that we have the division of the kingdom of Alexander, and then we move into this portion of the king of the north and the king of the south and all this, it is believed that these kings are the divided kingdoms of Greece. So you have the Ptolemies in Egypt in the south, that's the king of the south. You have the Seleucids, which ruled Syria and Persia area, that's the king of the north. And then you had the Greece portion, which I can't remember the guy's name, but Antipater, I think he was the one that ruled in Greece. And then we have, sometime in this, Rome comes in and starts conquering. The one part that very much sounds to me very much like Rome. And he shall turn his face toward the fort of his own land, but he shall stumble and fall and not be found. And then there shall stand up one in his estate, a raiser of taxes in the glory of the kingdom, but within few days he shall be destroyed, neither in anger nor in battle. That makes me think of Julius Caesar. After all of his conquering, he went to the Isles, he did all his conquering, and he turned back to Rome, and he stumbled when they assassinated him. And then his nephew, Octavian, I believe, is the one that takes over, and it's in the time of Caesar Augustus, we have the raising of taxes, the census, at the time of Christ. I don't know. Honestly, it's very confusing, and this is just theories that I've heard. I have not heard any real in-depth interpretation of who these kings are. But, as I say, it seems to be talking about the turmoil and the wars between the various factions of the Greek and Roman time, just between Alexander the Great and the coming of Christ. I'm going to leave that here, and we will finish this chapter in the next video.